I love winter. I think it's just absolutely one of my favorite times, especially when it snows and it's so beautiful. It looks like we're in a different world. And I love winter sports, and my kids love playing in the snow. We woke up today and my kids saw the snow and they were just so excited and happy. And it has to be a certain temperature and a certain humidity factor, and the moisture in the air and the temperature has to be just the right balance in order to have snow. And many times we can feel like, I think it looks like it's about to snow, and we discern the weather. Jesus talked about that. He said in Luke chapter 12, in verse 54, he said to the multitudes, "Whenever you see a cloud rising out of the west, immediately you say, 'A shower is coming,' and so it is. And when you see the south wind blow, you say, 'There will be hot weather,' and there is. Hypocrites, you can discern the face of the sky and of the earth, but how is it you do not discern this time?" And so Jesus uses the example of discerning the weather patterns and discerning whether it's going to rain, whether it's going to snow, whether it's going to be warm weather. We can easily discern these things, and you can tell when a storm is coming. But Jesus said, how is it that you can discern those things and yet you don't have any spiritual discernment? And so we see that Jesus has an expectation that we are supposed to live with spiritual discernment. So what exactly is this spiritual discernment that Jesus expects us to have? What is it that He's looking for? What is it that He says we can discern the signs of the weather, but we can't discern the signs of the times? Jesus came at a kairos time. He came at an appointed time. The Bible says He came into His own, but His own received Him not. It's because they weren't ready. They were not prepared to receive their King. And Jesus seems to expect that they should have. There should have been a preparation. The same is true of us. There must be a preconditioning of our hearts. It's not just that we hear the words of Christ, that we hear the words of the gospel. It's not enough that we hear the content of the gospel. It's important how we hear. In other words, He's not going to make it so simple for us that we think we understand but we miss it. He's going to require us to seek hard after Him, and that means we must safeguard against having a dull spirituality. How does a person have a dull spirituality? It's through indulging in the flesh. It's through self-indulgent, whether it's lawful or unlawful pleasures, whether it's something that the Bible clearly says is illegal or immoral, or whether it's something that we could justify and say, this is not wrong, this is not immoral, the Bible doesn't condemn this, and we end up living a self-indulgent lifestyle that causes spiritual dullness. If that's the case, even if we go to church, even if we call ourselves Christians, we have to realize we're not Christians just because we call ourselves Christians. Jesus expects that we be Christians in spirit and truth, that there's a reality to our faith because we have had ears to hear what He has to say to us. That's spiritual discernment, and that's what He expects for each of us to have.
Hear me.